At this point, I've tried everything. I've tried Etsy, I've tried crypto, I've tried prostitution. Honestly, I'm like fucking Barbie at this point. Every season I come out with a new look and a new line of self-promoting toys. And I actually forgot that I had tried to be a male escort at one point. When I said to my wife that I was going to make this video about all my failed side hustles, she's like, and your prostitution? I'm like, oh yeah, and that one. I'll make sure I add that one to the list. So my first side hustle really was being in a band. I didn't know it at the time. In fact, I would say most of my side hustles aren't side hustles in my mind until after they failed. At the time I'm starting them, I genuinely believe this could be the way out. So when I left school, I just joined a band and I just moved to Bristol, and I thought the world would come to me, you know. I thought all I had to do was go as deep inside myself and be the best writer I could be, and everything else was meant to be. Male escorts needed. About 15 years ago now, I had that very difficult conversation that we all have with our girlfriends at some time about considering being a male escort. And amazingly, she agreed and supported me in it. And I actually genuinely went through the process of signing up to an escort agency. I think that's why I'm still with her now, because she backs me on every stupid idea I have. See Pokemon. I thankfully never actually went through with it, but I was seriously considering it enough to join some forums and be chatting to some other escorts and, you know, trying to work it all out. And it was actually other female escorts on this forum that dissuaded me from it. And looking back, I'm pretty thankful to them for that. What was I thinking? I couldn't even drive at this point. Imagine your fucking escort showing up on the bus. So really, you can't call this a failure. It's a never was. But it still qualifies for this list because it's another thing that I spent pointless time and energy on. Which leads me neatly on to NFTs. I'll keep this bit short, much like my career as an NFT artist. So I first thought I could make millions flipping JPEGs about 5 minutes after everybody else decided they could make millions flipping JPEGs. I saw Snoop Dogg hanging out in the sandbox and I got very excited about the prospects of hanging out in the metaverse, but I couldn't afford to buy any land, so I was thinking, how else can I get in? And I found Objkt, where you can make assets that other people can buy and have in their sandbox world. Because I saw some people were selling them for loads of money. I was like, oh, this would be alright. This would be just like building in Minecraft. It's just building out of blocks, right? Ah, not available on Mac yet. That's okay. I'll buy a PC because there's potential to make money in this. So I'll buy a PC so that we can learn Objkt, making some excuse about it. It'd be good for the kids too. I'll show them how it all works. And then like literally a week later, they released Objkt for Mac anyway. And it was a totally pointless purchase. Well, this is what I got. I did actually make a Pikachu as well, but it was so grotesque clearly that I threw it away because unfortunately when I went looking, I couldn't find it. So then I started looking at collections like the Bored Apes and the obviously CryptoPunks and thought maybe I could make something in that world. It was at that time where there was just every day there was another 100 collections of 10,000 unique characters that maybe you could have as your profile picture or whatever. But so free-flowing is my inspiration at this point that by the time I'd actually made a collection, it was actually part of a bigger project and was now just part of my plan to release live streaming. Now this I really thought was the one. This was right around the time when record labels were starting to clamp down on all the streamers for using copyrighted music, and there was an influx of companies that came up to fill that void. Few as successfully as Stream Beats. And I thought, this is my calling. Finally, I can use all those skills I just learnt streaming Pokemon over lockdown and tie it together with my love and passion for making music, and I can serve these people in this community that I've met, and I can make music that they can use in their streams, and it'll be mutually beneficial and it'll grow really organically. So I was so positive that this one was going to be the one. The plan was simple. Create a playlist, upload it to all major streaming platforms, advertise that my music was free to use for the money you'd already paid, and sit back and watch the royalties come flooding in as people played my tracks for hours on end while they bobbed up and down in a bath or slept in front of people on Twitch and Insta Live. But then the question came, how am I going to make enough music quick enough? I've made pockets of music here and there, but I need hours of music here. So, quick look to see how the pros do it, and he bought all his music. 50 grand setup costs, he said. And most of that was in buying music. The guy's just going on Fiverr and paying other people to make music for him, and then uploading it to his site and calling it his own. But I'm not deterred, because I don't like most of the music anyway. So, I'll just spend a few months building up my playlist. It's time to sign up to Splice. It's funny how many of my brilliant ideas to make money start with me signing up to somebody else's already successful business model. Maybe I should learn from that. Well, this one's no different, and I sign up to Splice, which will give me access to copyright-free samples, and that'll speed up my process. Well, that's what they say. Turns out it's bullshit though, and when Sony Japan say they own one of the tunes you made using the samples, Splice's response goes something like this. So now I'm sitting there with my playlist ready to go, my NFT collection of 30 perfect audio loops, complete with Fiverr artwork. This is still pre-Midjourney after all. I chose to host it on Solana because you've got to stay ahead of the curve in the crypto space, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are old news at this point. Did I mention I invested in crypto? Another time maybe. And at this point it all gets halted because some of my tracks can't get clearance because I apparently stole them. Fuck you, Splice. Actually, I should probably get around to cancelling my subscription. Okay, moving on. Etsy. This was my latest venture. And I've had this idea before. I've opened a Spreadshirt, but it's going to be different this time. Because this time I've got AI. I mean, I can't draw. If I could, it would already be part of my daily practice. Not just when it's part of my latest quest to make money. So I spend a few days on Midjourney making images, and I'm trying to be totally generic. You know, I'm making lawn mowing t-shirts and dog walking t-shirts and whatever's already popular on there, as per the advice in the YouTube video I watched that told me to start an Etsy shop. So far it's just cost me £8 a month for a Midjourney subscription. Now I just need to make sure my markups are enough that they cover the slice that Etsy and Printify, who are actually going to make the t-shirts, will take for their share. And then I'm good to go. So I'm a week in and it's going well. I haven't actually made a sale yet, but I feel like I'm getting the hang of the designing. Hey look, someone's favorited one of my designs. Great, this is going good. It'll only be a matter of time now before I get the bill for all my listings. Fuck this. This was meant to be a cheap side hustle, and this one actually was. Most of the other ones, as I said, I genuinely thought they were career-changing moments. This was just meant to be something I could do on the side and then set and forget. And once again, I seem to have had this idea right at the same time as everybody else in the fucking world. So much so that everybody that was on Etsy making stuff has actually left and is now selling stuff on TikTok because it's just overrun with third-party on-demand printing, and I'm one of them. And that about brings us up to speed. I could have mentioned other things, like the time I thought I'd beaten the roulette wheel by just constantly doubling my stake, or talk to you about how much money I lost in the stock market, but I kind of feel like I gave you the highlights. Anyway, my point is... What is my point? I don't really have one. I just had to get all this off my head to make room for the next idea. So I'll see you there. Or maybe not. Thanks.